Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, my fellow Americans, and not only, Donald Trump announced that you and I and the Western world, the ones with money, will be able in the near future to have their vacations in Gaza. Why? Because he says he will build a Riviera on the Mediterranean coast where Gaza is. There is Gaza out, the Palestinians somewhere else, and he's going to build some resorts in Gaza Strip. While he was standing next to the Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is visiting Washington, D.C. as the first leader invited to visit the United States of America during Trump's second administration or term. Isn't that sweet? All right, so we have the implications, and I'm going to show you how some people, unfortunately, will make the same mistake as they made in the past. They expose themselves with too much chutzpah. That means too much arrogance. And then even the baboons busy eating each other's fleas will notice that certain people really control other people. So I will show you Hamas's reaction to Donald Trump's statement. Hamas is that terrorist organization who must be, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to show you how Trump, through an executive order, combats antisemitism and people who would be talking, let me get the expression, will be sympathizers of Hamas. So the United States will go into Gaza, get the Palestinians, all right, somewhere else, build some beautiful resorts over there. Hamas says, oh, that's not okay. Trump already said, if you guys are doing anything over there, we're gonna, and you are a terrorist organization, by the way. And if in America you say, wait a minute, how come we go over there on someone else's lands, build that, kick those guys out? You have this terrorist organization right here opposing this, but if we look at it and say, wait a minute, who's the villain here? It doesn't have to be only one. And all this with a mastermind supposedly outside of it that you can't grasp. In this case, the mastermind, of one representative of the mastermind, is watching his investment in Washington, D.C. At this moment. He meets Donald Trump. You know what I'm talking about? All right, let's start with about 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I speak German, articles. Let's start. Trump says, United States will take over Gaza. Latest developments and reactions. The US president's comments about turning Gaza into a Riviera of the Middle East have faced widespread condemnation. You know that expression, who's there? Who's that boy? La monita chiquichita pickle tica. Okay, so what does that mean, condemnation? That's not enough. Then, you know that expression, the dogs are barking and the caravan keeps going? The same here. That's the condemnation. They don't care. The condemnation, it shouldn't be condemnation. It should be, how can we stop this? But no, it's just condemnation. Why? They can't do anything about it. And you tell me the Russians are bad? Or, I don't know, Maduro is bad? Or Kim Jong-un? Or Xi Jinping? Or who? Putin? Okay, let's move on. So you see who's the boss here? Yeah, okay, Trump. And here is the boss, came to see his investment. American flag, you got over there the Israeli flag, and you got that little ribbon that we're supposed to. Okay. His comments came during an extraordinary press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the first foreign leader to visit Trump during his second term. Wow. So they talked about it, and they decided that these guys will do it for them. All right, like always. Remember, and I always, how do you call that? Point this out to you. If you want to understand how Netanyahu's or Zelensky's stands are operating, the Bible, your book, the book Don't Lie, tells you in those little, Mark, Luke, and, those Gospels, how the Romans killed Jesus. Yes. How? Well, I would like you to study that. We can't do it. You can. And you will do it for us, my friends. All right. That's been done all the time with someone else's hands. And I'm going to talk about exposure. Not that kind of exposure in public. Okay, different kind of exposure. Let's go to the next article. Trump vows to take over Gaza and create Riviera of the Middle East. And he's something about the Palestinians after resettling Palestinians elsewhere. So President Donald Trump said the U.S. would take over word ravaged Gaza. It's just a word that occurs over there. And create a Riviera of the Middle East for us after resettling Palestinians elsewhere, shattering decades of U.S. policy on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and drawing regional condemnation. Regional, not even global. Okay, you know what's going to be over there. We have these guys who really oppose that, who are the bad guys, all right, coming from Russia today, February 1st. Well, February 1st, I would like to say happy birthday to Georgi Hagi, the Romanian soccer player, and Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that's his birthday as well. And I would like to mention someone who sent me this article earlier today, and I thank you very much for this. So, Hamas, those terrorists, reject Trump's quote-unquote racist Gaza relocation plan. Well, you thought the relocation. Remember why NATO claimed it started bombarding Yugoslavia in 1999? Do you remember? They said that genocide, ethnic cleansing occurs over there. So the Serbs were ethnically cleansing their land of the Albanians living in, at that time, still Yugoslavia. So that's why ethnic cleansing, that is taking some people from one territory and expelling them and relocating, that's a euphemism, relocating them somewhere else. Does it sound to you like ethnic cleansing? It doesn't have to be, like pick up, out. All right, so these guys are portrayed, remember, Hamas is a terrorist organization, I think, isn't it? The US president's proposal for the enclave's future would infringe on the rights of Palestinians, a leader of the military group has said, according to Russia Today. Correct? Hamas has rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to assume control of Gaza and relocate Palestinians from the enclave. Now, who is the right person here? Who do you think is the good person? Who is the bad person? And who are the baboons and who are going to be the victims? And while they do this thing as well. Lansing State Journal. Americans and the Holocaust. You understand what it is? Exhibit on display at Lansing, Library of Michigan through February 2022. Suzanne Vela. So, you see, right there's Goebbels, there's these bad guys, and the Weimar Republic, Summer Beautiful. So, and then the next one, United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, and they're going to tell you where you can go and have this, because when this will happen, you have to be already ready to accept it. So, where to see this exhibition? 2025, right there. You can go all this. Please take a snapshot and make sure you go right there. In 2026, they're planning ahead, my friends. Why is it necessary? I tell you why. This is not a way of making certain people feel a certain kind of feelings, like the Germans for the Second World War. Even though Americans and the Holocaust. What are you talking about? That's your thing over there. No, they're trying to put something together. And then little by little, with a foot in the door, they will tell you that, hey, what did you do for me today? You know that. And let me show you the last article here. That's another preparation for this little move in Gaza. The Hill. Trump signs order to combat antisemitism on campuses, vows actions against Hamas sympathizers. So if anyone would dare to say, hey, wait a second, maybe, someone has a point, right there. And you could be deported for that, by the way. They say President Donald Trump signed an executive order Wednesday seeking to fight anti-Semitism on colleges. Again, foot in the door. And vowing to action against Hamas sympathizers among student population. You got that? All right. Nothing about the Palestinians that he wants to relocate, right? Relocate them. They're going to create the Riviera. So, my friends, who's who and what's what? Is this in the United States' citizenry interest? No, because you're going to have some people hating you again for what? For voting for someone at the orders of someone else. Now, let me tell you about the chutzpah and exposing themselves. If you look at, in general, Al Capone got in trouble, not necessarily because he was a criminal. One point why Al Capone, the real Al Capone, got in trouble was because he exposed himself. He exposed his wealth, his influence over the, U.S. officials. He had in his pocket the police, the judges, the newspaper, and some other bigger than him said, wait a minute. So if Al Capone would have been not featured in the media as being the guy with a cigar and with white suit and hat and being so chic, okay, then probably they would not really look at him like that. So he overdid it. He overexposed himself. Now, if you look at other groups in the society, when you lend money, let's say in the medieval time, to the ruler, to the king, to fight wars that you're going to profit, or to fund certain kind of, those policies that the king doesn't have the money for, the peasantry, the yeomen, they will see that and will say, so Itzik gives money as the lender, the bank of the king. And the king will implement certain things and start wars and arm our military with the lender's money. That is the Federal Reserve Bank nowadays, who sets the, the interest rates, and then our treasury is going to print according to their decision. My friends, nothing changed, just the names and, but now you have these guys showing up together and telling you, say it, Trump. And Trump, yeah, we will do this, you will do. It's too obvious. Even as I said, the baboons who are currently busy eating each other's fleas from one another will be like, huh? Even they should see it. Who's who, what's what. You have too many with too much chutzpah showing off, and there's going to be their dismay in the future. It happened before many times, and I say, why? Why do they hate us? Thank you very much for being with me again today. So save some money. The Middle East Riviera is under construction, and I guess Trump's businesses will take care of it. I'm just kidding. And it will be peace, and everything will be just nice in the Middle East because of that Riviera. I guarantee you that. Hamas and Hezbollah and all these bad people will just lay down their weapons, and they're going to participate in rebuilding the Riviera, and they will just become, hotel employees, washing sheets in the hotel. My friends, is that the way you think is going to play out? I don't think so. And then, according to the executive order, don't have any sympathy or say, I think those guys are, this or that. You have to mandate it by the executive order to dislike them, because you have to dislike them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Think for yourselves, my friends. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.